Hello everyone. So this is a laptop that was free once many years ago. What this is a laptop given by the government for students. Back then you could use it for learning or whatever you wanted to use it for. And now many years later you can see a lot of these floating around the marketplace open for sale. So I got myself one of these to see how it performs. Being that it's a free laptop, I don't expect much, but it is still a laptop. Some people might tell you these are netbooks, and you're right, this is a netbook, but the term netbook kinda disappeared. This is supposedly a used unit, but as we'll find out, it's more like a new old stock model because this, I'm pretty sure it's new and never been used before. Here it is, the One Malaysia laptop, as it is called. I still can't really find out what brand it was before it got rebranded. There were no infos, softwares couldn't identify it. There are a few of these that are actually rebranded from well-known brands, but I'm pretty sure this isn't one of them. And here's the look from the bottom with a bunch of stickers and a code from Microsoft Office. I'm going to try to install that to see if it works. Because if you're given a laptop like this, you're probably expected to learn how to use Office and browse internet. Standard procedure. And now we turn it on for the first time. You just have to press the power button that's on the right side. A very nice button to press. And immediately the laptop says 7G. And I have no idea what that means, and Google didn't help me at all, so I suppose that's just the brand of the laptop. And by the way, the battery does not work at all. It's there, but it doesn't charge, it doesn't run. And now we pull off the protector of the screen, which is probably not as satisfying as pulling it off your new iPhone, but still does it. And so you would expect a netbook to run Windows 7 Starter. But this one runs on Windows 7 Professional, which is kinda not expected. And here it is, the laptop are turned on and on the main screen. Please excuse the flickering screen because my recorder is having problems with the laptop screen. Now this being a 10-inch laptop, it is really tiny, it's about the size of your normal tablet or your iPad. And it is really light, so it's got that going for it. And if you want a comparison, here is a Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, which is also a 10-inch tablet. And if I put them side by side, their screens are nearly the same in size, but of course the Samsung has a higher resolution screen. And for a little more comparison, here is a regular 15.6-inch gaming laptop. And if you look closer, it is very much larger than the small laptop. And right now I'm going to try to install Microsoft Office using the key that I found on the sticker below the laptop. And it actually works, the key has not been used, which further proves that this laptop is not actually used and that it is just old stock that never got sold or never got given away for free. So I got some softwares installed, and so let's have a quick rundown on what this laptop specs look like. So of course it runs on an Intel Atom processor, which a lot of netbook does as well. A very low powered, very slow processor that saves battery and gets the job done, I guess. Surprisingly, this is a dual core Atom, so this could be one of the newer models. It has 2 GB of RAM, which is kinda enough for Windows 7, but definitely not for Windows 10, but maybe that is time for another video. So this laptop is very limited in space for USB drives and all that, but you do have an SD card slot, a normal 3.5 headphone jack, a microphone jack, and 2 USB ports, and that's all you get. Coming up next, I'm going to do some performance tests and see if this laptop can run any type of games, which I don't have very high hopes for, so I got myself Need for Speed Underground, the first one, and it barely runs. It runs, but it runs on the lowest settings and it runs at like 10 FPS. So if you're into racing at 10 FPS, you could technically play Need for Speed Underground. And the speakers, they are speakers indeed, and they do produce sound, and that's about it. They have no quality whatsoever, so they just make sounds, and that's all you can get. And you should be glad you get speakers. And moving on to YouTube playback, and I expected this thing to play videos at about 360p without lag, and it kinda does that. So you can play videos at 480, 360 at relatively smooth playback, but anything above that you're gonna start to get stuttering and lag.
I doubt you can keep up.
And if you're going on regular internet browsing, this will work, as this is the only thing it's designed to do, browse the internet. And even then, you're gonna get some stuttering and some lag when you're scrolling, which is to be expected, but it still works. You just have to be a little more patient than you have to be. Now we're going to Microsoft Office. So I've downloaded a sample and tried to do some slideshows with it, and of course it runs very smoothly. And I think this is the best thing that this laptop can ever do, which is do slideshows on PowerPoint. And now if you look closer on the side, you do have an HDMI port and a VGA port, which is very good for switching to a larger screen for presentations. So right now we're gonna give it a try on both ports. We're gonna do it for the VGA, in which it works well. So you have a bigger monitor for your screen now. And next up, the HDMI cable, which I'm going to plug into my monitor with a 1440p display, and we'll see how this laptop handles all that resolution. And surprisingly it works, but the resolution is a little buggy, so I'm going to go to the resolution settings and try to change it up. I'm not sure if you can see the text over there, but this thing only supports up to 1080p displays on the HDMI cable, so that's as far as you can get, which is really acceptable because 1080p is the standard display nowadays, so that's good. And the next big thing about this laptop is the keyboard. It is a very tiny keyboard. You're gonna need to spend a little time getting used to the various tiny keycaps on it. But you don't have to worry about it. Over time you're gonna get used to typing on this very small keyboard. And besides, the main market for these are the people that get it for free. Chances are they never had a laptop prior, and they're gonna start learning to type. And they're gonna start learning to type fast on a small keyboard. And when they move on to a very large keyboard, that shouldn't be a problem at all. And for the last bit of this video, I'm going to show you a little bit what it looks like on the inside. And this laptop is really easy to take apart. It's just a few screws and the keyboard comes off, and the front cover just comes off just like that. And of course here is the hard disk, which is made by Samsung of all brands. I thought they would be choosing like Chinese cheap brands, but no, they got a Samsung, and it's 320GB hard disk, which is more than plenty enough for a first timer. And here's the rest of the laptop, which is very odd because the fan isn't connected to anything. It just kind of blows air. Truly very odd. And here's the keyboard. When I'm reinstalling it, you just have to put it into the connector and put the screws back in, and you got your laptop back into one piece. And here is the RAM stick, in which case this is definitely a cheap Chinese brand that I have never heard of. And of course this is a single stick 2GB RAM, which gets the job done, basically. Don't expect too much from it. And that's basically what this whole laptop is about, is a very bare bones laptop that runs on Windows, which is good enough for people that are learning how to use a computer for the first time, and you can get it for free. You really couldn't complain much about that. So here it is, a very cheap laptop that you could get for free, or you could get for a very low price right now on the marketplace. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this quick review of a very cheap laptop that is supposedly given to us by free.